There are a couple of additional ways that I both gather information and distribute information to bridge the gap between, say, blogs that I don't know about, videos that I haven't seen that weren't directly sent to me by, say, a Twitter friend or a blog that I read, and also to distribute a little bit of information in some different ways. So I'm going to show you how I work that stuff out in this video. So the first tool is Zeit, and Zeit is an iPad app, and what it will do is, based on your keywords that you put into it, it's kind of like a magazine. It will pull information from throughout the internet and put it into your Zeit app. So in this case, I have a section of my Zeit magazine for internet marketing, and it pulls in information from all over the internet about internet marketing. Now, sometimes, very, very rarely actually, it will already pull in some things, say, on a blog that I'm already subscribed to, so I've seen it in my Google Reader already. But about 90% of the time, it's got brand new stuff for me that I've never seen before. Now, because these aren't sites that I have subscribed to on my own, that I'm aware of, that I know that I want to read, it isn't always 100% stuff that is relevant to my niche. That being said, Zeit is a really, really fantastic application to put in a keyword for your niche and see what comes up. Now, I do not use Zeit daily because it's one of those things, it's a magazine style format. You could just spend an hour reading interesting articles, right? But what I use it for is if I'm sitting in bed at night and I want a little something to read, I'll check out my Zeit, see what's going on. I have found some really great blogs in Zeit that I wasn't aware of before that I've then put into my Google Reader to ensure that I see them every single day. So if you're in a marketplace where you haven't found a lot of really great resources to put into your Google Reader, Zeit is probably a fantastic resource for you to find some other really great content in your market. Or if you're just looking to expand your knowledge in your marketplace, Zeit, again, is a great app for you to check out. It's free, and it'll pull in stuff that you probably haven't seen before. Now, Zeit also has some sharing options. As we can see at the bottom of this screenshot, you can share on Twitter, Facebook, Instapaper, Delicious, or email. Keep that email one in mind because we're going to use that later. Also, as it pulls in articles for you, you go to read them and you get this screen. This is the actual article. And it's got the "Did you enjoy reading this?" on the right-hand side, and you click yes or no. If you click yes, it'll attempt to show you more articles like this one. If you say no, it'll attempt to show you less articles like this one. So it learns as time goes on what your preferences are. And as you continue to use the app, it will be better at predicting what kind of articles you want to see and filling your app with those articles. Now, the next one I want to show you is another iPad app. This one is called ShowU. And this is interesting because it is kind of like Zeit, except that it's for videos. So what you do with this is you fill it with your Twitter and or Facebook credentials so that it knows who your Twitter and Facebook friends are. And then it will populate a page like this with the most popular videos that have been shared through your social circle in, the last few days. So this is mine for my social circle. Now you can also see videos that are just the entire the entire ShowU members base. So you could go to a different screen, and from there you would see all kinds of videos that just various ShowU members have shared, commented on, thought were interesting. So ShowU is really, really great for any kind of marketplace that has a lot of video being shared about in it. Okay, next one I want to show you is Flipboard, another iPad app, another free one. Now, Flipboard actually pulls in information from your Twitter feed. It creates little magazines based on your Twitter feed. It'll create a little magazine based on your Facebook friends, and then it will create little magazines based on your Google Reader. Flipboard is not the best way to source new information necessarily, although they do have some built-in magazine topics. So if you were in a niche that is one of those topics that they have kind of pre-baked in it, you can certainly find great stuff in it. That being said, again, because of the magazine format, you could absolutely get lost in this app for an hour or two, and that's not the way that we want to do our curation every morning. We want to knock it out and be done with it so that we can get to the other work of the day. So Flipboard is, again, one that I use when I'm, in bed. It's the evening time. I'm winding down and I just kind of want some stuff to look at. It's great for your personal interests too. Twitter is the account, as opposed to my Facebook, as opposed to my Google Reader, that I use most often with Flipboard, because there's a lot of stuff shared on Twitter that, because I don't eyeball my tweet stream all day long, that I do miss. And so Flipboard is one that I use to kind of check that out and see what sort of random things have been shared throughout the cosmos. And much like Zeit, Flipboard also has ways that you can share the content that you've read on Flipboard with the rest of the internet community. Last one here, big one, been around for quite some time, is Evernote. And the reason that Evernote works so well is because of the multitude of ways that you can put information into it. So basically what Evernote is, if you haven't heard of it before, it's a web clipping service. It's free, again. And what it allows you to do is to clip web pages or emails or videos, or not videos, pardon me, but a URL to a video, but PDFs is what I was getting at, and add them into your Evernote account so that you can refer back to them later. And you can add them to your Evernote account, sending it via email, via the iPhone or iPad app. There's a ability to send from Google Reader directly into Evernote. They also have a desktop application. They have browser plugins where you just click the plugin and it'll clip it to Evernote for you. And of course, there's web access so that you can access everything that you've clipped at any time. So let me show you my Evernote account over here, so that you kind of get an idea of how I'm using this. Remember when we talked about how sometimes you'll be in the process of curating content and you'll see some really fantastic article that you want to use as a jumping off point for a full-length article for your own website or a full-length video for your own social media type of presence? So what I do with stuff like that, because obviously if I'm doing my curation process, I'm not going to stop to write a 1,000-word article because I'm in the middle of my curation process, and it isn't effective for me to be jumping from task to task to task to task, right? So if I'm curating, and that's what I'm doing, and that's what you should be doing too. Consider it 20 minutes, maybe even a half hour max of time that you're super duper focused on just finding the best stuff out there and getting it out to your followers in the quickest and most efficient way possible. So in that process, you found a really great article that you're like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. It's given me so many ideas and I want to save this for later so that I can do that when it's time for writing. What I do is send that article to Evernote. And I usually, because I'm usually in Google Reader, I will oftentimes email it into Evernote with the link at the bottom of Google Reader that says, send to or email or something. There's also a way to set up your Google Reader to have a send to Evernote, like we showed a send to Twitter. And Evernote has plenty of documentation on that so that you can get it set up if you want it that way. And so what it will do then at that point is stick it in my Evernote inbox here, and that's what we're looking at. And then I go into my inbox maybe once a week or so and sort stuff out into these folders. So now if I have a swipe, like I've got a swipe file in there, if I have an email subject line that I need to write and I want to go into my swipes and check out what the different swipes that I have for that type of thing already, it's right there in my Evernote. If I need to build some links for a site, I've got a folder for places to link build here on the left that you can see. And so I can go and say, okay, I forgot about this place, and this place that I can build links at, so on and so forth. So everything is separated here for me into different folders so I can access exactly what I need at any given time. You see I've got blog topics, I've got stuff on content marketing, I've got copywriting. So these are all folders of sub areas within internet marketing that I have collected some information on that I may want to use at some point, or that may be a jumping off point for some of my own content. And that's how I use Evernote, and it's become a really important resource for me as far as a place to collect all of that stuff that I may want to read later or may want to reference back, but I don't want to create a bookmark for it or something like that, you know. And within Evernote, as you can see on the right hand side, it actually saves the whole article for me. So even if that article somehow goes offline, I'm able to access it in my Evernote and get the information that I was attempting to save. So quick recap, we did Zite. Zite is great for finding new information in your niche that you were not already aware of. We did ShowU. ShowU is great for finding videos to share with your followers, fans, blog readers. We did Flipboard. Flipboard is great for kind of catching up on what's gone on in your niche over the day, whether it be via Google Reader or Twitter or something, but it isn't necessarily where you want to go in the morning to do your curation process. And Evernote is where you will want to send those full-length articles that you want to reference back later, or keep notes on, say, blog topics that you want to write about in the future, or where you can save reference material that had some really great how-tos or something like that that you, again, may want to reference later. So those are the final pieces of the puzzle for me and how I deal with my curation.